Lizzo is a morbidly obese weirdo in a thong, twerking around on stage while playing with a priceless piece of American history. That's the level of care we're talking about. Also, I don't give a flying shit if it's an honour for her. That's not the point at all. I've got to be honest. I don't really care about this. Does anyone give a shit about Lizzo playing the flute like me? Does anyone care? It's just I don't know. It's like, yeah, isn't she like a musician? Is this her playing it? I think, to be honest with you, this is one of those rare cases where, Lizzo is like an outspoken, obese black person. And I think they're just mad because of the aesthetic of it or the look of it, rather than actually being mad about something substantive.
Oh my God. The U.S. premiere of this piece happened in the Coolidge Auditorium across the street. And Ron Paul played it. And this is the flute that
I can play it or no?
Yes.
Oh, my lipstick doesn't. Right? That's what I want to know.
We'll see. Oh, we'll see.
Oh, wow. Damn.
This was made in when? 15 what? 85.
Okay, then it sounds so good. Damn, fuck, that sounds pretty good. This is really good. Well, she's not only fat, she's also black. So obviously that's another problem, isn't it? Like, I'm so right. Can anyone... Okay. Genuinely, I don't want to misconstrue people, okay? But can anyone explain to me, right, what the issue is, aside from the fact she's fat, black, and outspoken? Can anyone explain what the... This is fine to me. I'm like, yeah, this sounds good. Why does this have to be another issue? That seemed fine. I mean, I'm not a trained musician myself. How is she? Okay. How is she in American history by playing a flute? I tell you what, American history is on very shaky ground if Lizzo playing the flute is desecrating it somehow. I don't know who she is. She's like a pop star. She's actually quite talented. She makes great pop records if you're into that sort of thing. I think it was more the twerking during the concert. Okay, let's have a look at that then. Lizzo flute concert. Okay. Where's the thing of her twerking?
Alright, I'm gonna just get it.
Oh my God! American history has been desecrated before our eyes. It's unbelievable. Fuck me, man. That was it. God, listen, Americans, I swear to God, sometimes are some of the most uptight motherfuckers out there. Jesus. I thought it was bad in England. Okay, what's this? Is that the thing we just watched? Okay, let's see if we can find something here that's worth getting upset about. Okay, it's not playing for some reason. That is a brave outfit, that's true. Okay, I don't know why it's not playing properly. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much for the... I think my laptop's racist. Okay, this works better. Look, here we go. This works better.
It's crystal. It's like playing out of a wine glass, bitch. So be patient.
Why is she naked? She's not naked. Okay. She's not naked. Okay. I mean, obviously, yeah. The outfit is a bit of an odd choice, considering that. I'll grant that. You know, I think that's a reasonable. Like, you know, maybe wear something a little bit more respectable. Okay, we're controlling women's bodies today. I'll grant that. However, I still am not seeing the desecration of American history happening. I've got to be honest with you. America is done.
Thank you to the Library of Congress for preserving our history and making history freaking cool. History is freaking cool, you guys.
No, I'm sorry, guys. This is just pop star shit. I don't really think this is that big a deal. Like, getting super mad over this, you have literally drunk the culture war Kool-Aid at that point, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, it's like a, like, you know, it's a, what do you call it? Am I under the sea right now? But yeah, people that are getting mad about this, I think, are over egging the pudding. At worst, you can say, oh yeah, the outfit is not particularly appropriate for some historical thing that she's apparently doing. But when was this? Was this at her concert? This is Kenosha all over again. What are some of the responses like? Apparently, someone linked to Ben Shapiro response. Why did Lizzo twerk with the thing? Maybe there's more footage in here that is more damning. Let's have a look.
So there was some video that came out from the Library of Congress of her playing the flute. She was trained at University of Houston to play the flute. So she knows how to play the flute. Doesn't mean she's like one of the world's great flautists, in the same way that I'm not one of the world's great violinists, right? Being trained from a young age to play, you can be pretty good, and that doesn't make you one of the world's, but she's a celebrity, understood. Okay, so here's the video that is uncontroversial of her playing at the Library of Congress. This is better than what she usually does by like a long stretch. It's very nice.
Okay, so he likes this bit. Okay. Fair play.
This is very nice. I'm enjoying this. She's a pretty good flautist. Like, great. Okay, so that's non-controversial. Okay, then there's the clip that everybody's making a big deal out of. As the New York Times suggests, right? The big thing that happened with Lizzo is that she brought this flute to a concert, James Madison's flute to a concert, and she proceeded to twerk with it. So this is the thing that the entire world saw, was Lizzo wearing essentially a skimpy outfit, twerking with James Madison's.
Okay, the skimpy outfit thing, right? The skimpy outfit thing, I actually, you know, like I said earlier, I think that's fairly reasonable, you know. Maybe dress up a little bit more proper if you're going to play some old flute, okay? But other than that, the twerking thing, like, twerking is just a modern dance move. Like, yeah, I'm sure they did whatever the dance move was at the time back then, or some sort of physicality. I don't know, I just don't see the big deal of, oh, they were twerking with it. Like, why the fuck would you soy out about that?
Flute. Not the first one, which is a very respectful treatment of a historic instrument, but instead, Lizzo bringing forth a historic instrument to twerk with it, which, of course, is the point. And here is the clip of Lizzo.
Okay, is this another one? Or is it the same one?
You can do it!
It's crystal. It's like playing out of a wine glass. So be patient.
We love you!
Oh, it's the same one. Wait. Oh, so that little booty shake. Is that twerking? I thought twerking was a lot more involved than that, no?
Okay, and then she said something about how she twerked and played James Madison's crystal flute from the 1800s. We just made history tonight. We'll get to more on this in just one moment. First, the government is addicted to spending. The price on everything is going up, but there is no reason
Okay,
50% off. It was when she played one note and twerked with James Madison's flute. Okay, so this is what I'm going to call the face tattoo syndrome. Okay, because what has happened in the media is the face tattoo syndrome or the face tattoo phenomenon. Here's how it works. Somebody does something incredibly controversial and stupid. If you notice it, you're bad.
Okay. How is it controversial? I honestly don't get it. How is it controversial? What? The most controversial thing was probably the outfit. The so-called twerk was barely anything.
See, you walk into the Starbucks and there's a guy behind the counter and that guy has the Mike Tyson face tattoo that just covers half his face. And you're staring at it because how can you not stare at a person with a giant face tattoo? And he's like, what are you looking at, bub? Are you offended by my face tattoo? And you're like, well, I mean, you did get a face tattoo to draw attention to yourself. So if you're asking my opinion of the face tattoo, I think it was a bad idea and it looks terrible. How dare you notice? You cannot notice. If you notice, it's bad. The face tattoo phenomenon. That's what's happening here with Lizzo. The first clip, totally uncontroversial.
Well, hang on a sec. I don't think it's that it's bad for noticing. Okay. I think it's that, you know, to me, I'm like, you're just overreacting to this. There's no reason to be this fucking mad about it. And for some people, like if the Courtring put a video out, it's like Courtring will put out a video about whatever anti-SJW stuff he has to get the ad revenue. But Ben Shapiro genuinely believes this, right? Like this isn't just content to Ben. This is something he genuinely believes. And I just, yeah. I get that like the presentation might be upsetting to like a conservative. Like I do understand that aspect of it. But I just don't understand like this idea. I mean, I don't know if Ben's going to say it, but I've seen these takes that are like about like you say, desecration of American history, and it's like they don't even respect us. Like what was it that Matt Walsh said? Look at this. Same clip. Simply desecrating American history just for the sake of it. Actually, it's not just for the sake of it. There's a very clear point here to send the message that our heritage and history are meaningless and that nothing we love or care about has any value. What? Jesus. Fuck me. It's nice to look at this and remember that it's not just the fucking leftoids that overreact to shit, you know? It's like the rightoids have got just as much capability to absolutely lose their shit over something, you know, what, whilst it might be a little upsetting, is pretty innocuous in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, exactly. How many of these fuckers even knew this flute existed? Is this like a common thing in America? Is this like a common talking point of this crystal flute? I mean, I've never heard of it, but I'm not from the US. I don't know, man. It just... I do you think these people genuinely were like concerned and thinking about this crystal flute and then, oh my God, Lizzo got, oh my God, like this crystal flute is such a big part of our heritage, da 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 da. It's one of our most sacred relics. We spent 4 years learning about it in school.
The one that actually made the rounds, however, was her twerking, because it is the contrast. That's the whole point that they are making. And commentators were saying this. It is the contrast between Lizzo, a significantly overweight African-American musician, right? Because the idea is that it's groundbreaking for an African-American musician to play James Madison, one of the founders of the Constitution, to play his flute. That's the groundbreaking aspect. But really, it isn't even her race, right? They tried to make it about her race. It isn't really her race, because I'm sure that if they had wanted to find a better flautist who is black than Lizzo, I'm sure that there are many black flautists who are significantly better than Lizzo, right? They play in orchestras around the world. I'm sure they are wonderful.
Hang on a sec. What? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, right? Look, I'm not sure what the percentages are on like high tier professional flautists and the race breakdown. Okay, I've got to be honest with you. I'm not sure what that would look like if that was what they were going for. But also, like, she seems to be a really good flautist. I mean, I don't know.
And so if the idea was just going to be, we are going to take a historic instrument that belonged to a white Southerner who was in charge of founding the Constitution, and we are going to have a very talented African-American black person play that, that would have been really uncontroversial. Like, seriously, it'd be the equivalent of if let's say that George Washington had a harpsichord and we had Condoleezza Rice go and play the harpsichord. Like, everyone would be like, okay, all right, fine. Okay, but it is the twerking that does it. Understand it's the twerk. It is about the twerking. The story is solely and completely about the twerking, which is why you didn't see the first video. The first video has a few views. The one of her playing very nicely in the Library of Congress while dressed somewhat decently. It is the second video where she is twerking and wearing skimpy outfits with the flute. That is because the idea is to degrade the culture. That is what people, that is why the clip is viral. The reason the clip is viral is the contrast between a person twerking and the idea of an extraordinarily classy instrument, a historic instrument that speaks to sort of the gentility of America's founders being brought into a context that is vulgar. It's the vulgarization of American history. Again, Lizzo did both, and only one of those clips went viral. And so if you notice that, then you're very, very bad. If you notice that, then this means that you're some sort of racist, or it means that you don't want black people playing the flute or something. No, I just don't want people twerking with historic instruments. By the way, I'd be similarly offended as a violinist if there was a Stradivarius. Somebody had a Strad, okay, and that Strad was lent out to a musician who then proceeded to twerk on the Strad. I would also be insulted because it turns out that great art should not be degraded. Great art, American history, they should not be degraded by juxtaposition with vulgarity. That should not be a controversial position, but we've now reached the point in American life where nearly everything is a controversial position. Literally everything. Every day on this show, there's some clip that is taken that is utterly uncontroversial and then made into a thing on Twitter. Because we now live in a world where we do not have a shared reality. This was a point that was made by an account on Twitter called Wocal Distance. And he was saying that we don't have a shared reality because half the people saw this clip and they were offended by it, and half the people are like, woohoo, it's amazing. Okay, that shared reality has gone away on literally everything. And you have to understand that without that shared reality, we can't have political conversations. We can't have shared values. It's very difficult to see how you have a future as a country if you don't have some sort of shared value. The part that's kind of astonishing to me on a personal level.
What can you even say to this, man? It's just such a ridiculous overreaction. It's such a ridiculous overreaction to it.
Is I don't understand why Lizzo would do that. Right? Lizzo is enough of a musician to understand the nature of historic musical pieces of art. And so the degradation of that, like, why doesn't she personally have the respect for the instrument and a respect for the history enough not to twerk with it? I mean, and by the way, the left would have the same exact reaction if somebody took the Mona Lisa off the wall at the Louvre and then went and twerked with it at some sort of rock event. They'd have exactly the same reaction because degradation of the past, degradation of great art is part and parcel of something that the deconstructionist left loves. They love the idea that great art doesn't exist, that all art is equivalent, that Robert Mapplethorpe's Piss Christ is actually a form of art. Right? Everything is art in the eye of the beholder. And that's what's really going on here. And if you notice it, then they're like, how dare you notice this?
Is he, okay... Is he, I mean, I don't know if anyone's calling this, I mean, in the most literal definition, I guess it's art, but I don't know if people are presenting this as some sort of like insane artistic expression or some shit. I mean, I don't know if he's being a bit ironic or something, but like, is he, I mean, yeah, art is indeed in the eye of the beholder, sure.
Well, if you hadn't made a big deal out of it, I wouldn't have noticed it. If you didn't think it was historic, if you didn't think it was important, you wouldn't have done it. It also demonstrates, by the way, just how much the sort of institutions of American government have been taken over by members of the woke left. When you have members of the Library of Congress who are reaching out to Lizzo to have her twerk with a flute, that says something like the Library of Congress is supposed to be a place where you preserve historic instruments and respect them, not a place where you give it to people who are then going to twerk with those instruments on stage to the cheers of a gaggle of morons. Alrighty, guys, the rest of my show is continuing now. You're not going to want to miss it. We will be getting into the latest on the economy. Plus, a clip from Vice on the rehabilitation of sex offenders that goes wildly wrong. If you're not a member, click the link in the description and join us.
Man. Well, of course you agree with Ben Doobie. That makes sense to me. I just think this is a massive overreaction. Are you saying the context that Ben is talking about is totally irrelevant, though? I feel it matters on some level when this is obvious culture war memes from both sides. I mean, you know, I'm not completely averse to the conservative perspective. Do you see what I mean? I'm not averse to the conservative perspective on this. Like, I get why they might be a bit upset, and, you know, that's fine. Be upset, that's not a problem. It's just the extremity of the expression of it is crazy to me. Like, this is some sort of attack, or, you know, it's like some sort of denigration of American history. I just don't see that angle at all. I just disagree with that, and I don't think that's a culture war thing. I'm just, you know, looking at what they're saying, going, yeah, I don't agree with this. I don't think it's like, I'm sure that there's some, you know, takes that are like overstating how significant or crazy or amazing it is. Sure, like that's probably a thing, but, you know, to me it's more so like it's just a bit cringe how they're acting like this is the end of American history.